Bill now.
The Leeds fans came to Ewood smarting from the loss of their local hero David Batty. It's best to try and forget the disgraceful behaviour before the match, when a minority of their supporters disrupted the tributes to Sir Matt Busby. The Leeds team were obviously upset by the episode before the match kicked off.
Gallagher. It's a clever throw, it's caught Leeds out, it's Tim Sherwood, and it's Mark Beanie. Another move very much in keeping with the early shape here at Ewood Park.
Well, the tempo's up and Blackburn are up for it. There's a couple of options here, Tim Sherwood. But look at Mark Beanie, he stands his ground very well indeed. That's good goalkeeping.
Ripley, another Blackburn Rovers raid here. Leeds struggling to cope with a fast start from the home team. Wilcox. Ripley joining Gallagher and Shearer in the centre. Shearer! The speciality from a very special player.
Well, he should go over and thank Jason Wilcox, because that was an absolutely delightful cross. Great pace on the ball. He's wasted one or two, but look at the quality that this lad's capable of. There's no way Fairclough can touch that, but he scores an own goal. And Shearer, well, he's not going to miss this. A rise on the volley, 4 yards out, 3-1. He'll be odds on soon in these bookies' odds, but it's all to do with that wonderful cross. It really was.
From Wilcox, David May was free. And Beanie got along the line to stop Shearer striking again. And now the goalkeeper has to come, and again serves his side nobly under pressure.
Well, he deserved a bit of luck, purely and simply because of the quality of this save. The marking's woeful here. Look at the space that May's got to flick it on. Shearer thinks that's 2-0, but look at the goalkeeper's movement across his line.
This is Gallagher. He really has been involved in so much for Blackburn. Waiting for Lasso. He doesn't fail him. Shearer! Plucked away by Tony DeRigo, but it looked to be destined for the bottom corner.
This is an example of Graham Lasso, this time providing the cross and getting forward. And I think Fairclough just does enough. You can see that. Doesn't allow Shearer a clean header at it.
Still seeking the second. Sherwood trying to steal in for it. And it hits the post from Wilcox. Fairclough. It's muddled away. Kenny Dalglish spent last season, of course, trying to improve his team in the Premier League, as it was called then. Speed! They've pulled one out of the hat. And Gary Speed back in the side after injury in the best possible way. A lifeline for Leeds United. Well, can Blackburn snatch it back? So, Shearer! He has done it! He haunts Leeds again. A sensational ending even by Shearer's standards. And Kenny Dalglish perhaps can hardly believe it. Leeds certainly can't.
Well, again, it's another quality cross, but this time the header is magnificent. Pemberton can't stop Lasso, but look at that for a header. Absolutely textbook stuff, it really is. Gets up early, gets on top of Fairclough's shoulders, and not only that, look at the power and direction he manages to put into the header. It's quite magnificent. What more can you say about this guy?
Game not over yet. Speed, Strachan. That's great work from him. It comes from Newsom. Blackburn have kept it out. And that might be the last scare. big win for Blackburn Rovers. No doubt that they deserved it, but they needed Alan Shearer right at the very last to seal it. He is in the sort of form that will be marked down in the record books for years to come. But it's not just the number of goals. Today it's the timing of the winner. Leeds, who looked out of it at half-time, they really should have been dead and buried at that stage. But in the end, Howard Wilkinson and Leeds United are left in the wake of Blackburn Rovers.
Another home game followed as the match against Wimbledon was rearranged for the first week in February. Shearer, Wilcox and Ripley put the result beyond doubt with half the game still to play.
Wilcox on that left-hand side. He's got an opportunity here if he can deliver that chilling ball. He's lost possession, but Batty's at hand. David Batty creates the opening for Lasseau. Oh, good little 1-2. Lasseau, surely a penalty, and it's given. No mistake about that whatsoever. Great run by Lasseau. He's some player. And really, I think the movement just too quick, and it had to be a pen. Well, Shearer's the man to take the responsibility against Hans Segers. Shearer scores, no mistake, inch perfect in the corner. That was unstoppable. And this man cannot stop scoring. Look at how casual he was, and he places it and hits it hard as well. Batty now again for Blackburn. That's a good little ball down the line. Batty's continued his run. Comes into the middle of the area though, where Gallagher's chasing hard. Gallagher, is that a tackle, or has he given another penalty? Well, the corner's been given. It was a strong challenge, I think there's no doubt. He did get the ball, but a little bit of a twist possibly for Gallagher. It looked nasty. Shearer again for Blackburn. Oh, that's a nice little ball to the left flank again. Here's Jason Wilcox. He's got room for Lasseau. Batty's in field. Batty pushing it again for Wilcox. Another little 1-2. Wilcox, long ranger. Oh, what a goal! Jason Wilcox cuts in onto his right foot and unleashes a thunderbolt. And that is top corner stuff. Well, he hit it like a cannonball. Licked up well there with Lasseau. And then he had just one thing in his mind. Bang! And that is absolutely no stopping at all. Blackburn in full stride. Batty again the supplier. And Wilcox again hoping to deliver. Now then, he's tried to thread that one through the middle. Batty plays it in for Lasseau again. Oh, and the cross is a good one. There's danger in the area, and Ripley's at hand to score. That puts it well beyond doubt. 3-0 Rovers. And Stuart Ripley claims the goal. Fine cross whipped in there. And there was always problems for Wimbledon. And Ripley the first to react.
A great performance, but hardly a game to remember for Tim Sherwood. A dislocated shoulder wasn't much of the birthday present. He was 25 the day after. There was a shock in store in the FA Cup replay against Charlton. Rovers lost. And could they banish their FA Cup disappointment at Tottenham, the team who knocked them out of the Coca-Cola Cup? Mike Newell was still absent with a worrying knee injury, and Rovers' performance made their fans wonder just how they could have lost that cup tie in midweek. The first goal of White Hart Lane illustrated the teamwork in Blackburn's makeup. Shearer, Gallagher, Ripley, Berg, all involved, goal.
A great goal to round off a move that he really started. It's his 50th for Blackburn Rovers. Sensational scoring either side of that serious knee operation. And he really has done very little in the game, but he's come to life with a vengeance. With an hour played, Tottenham 0, Blackburn Rovers 1. And yet again, the name that's being chanted here from the Blackburn Rovers fans is that of Alan Shearer. At the moment, Tottenham have pushed Anderton further forward. Here he is. Shearer. Gallagher to his left, Ripley to the right. And Shearer trying to open a hole in the Tottenham defence with his own direct play. Gallagher. It's 2-0. It was a super ball from Mark Atkins to open Tottenham up. And Gallagher guided it beyond Walker. And Blackburn have the comfort now of a second goal. Kenny Dalglish's team worried here about the centre of midfield and the absence of Batty and Sherwood, but Atkins with a lovely pass from that position, and Gallagher finishing it all off very tidily indeed.
Much of the pre-match talk before the Newcastle game at Ewood centred on the two former Liverpool number 7s, Rovers manager Kenny Dalglish and his predecessor at Anfield, Kevin Keegan, the Newcastle manager. The goal that won the game from a corner, David Batty's clever header landed at the feet of centre-half David May. He smacked it in. That made it 10 out of 11 in the Premiership, Championship form in anybody's book. A midweek trip to East Anglia, and it was Alan Shearer's striking partner Kevin Gallagher who was to make the headlines this time round. On 31 minutes, he put Rovers into the lead, beating Brian Gunn with an angled drive. Shortly before half-time, Norwich hauled themselves level. Chris Sutton from the penalty spot. The Norwich cause wasn't helped when they lost John Poulston, sent off for a second booking. But they were defiant, and Sutton put them ahead with a shot on the turn after receiving the ball from Jeremy Goss. But back came Rovers. Kevin Gallagher broke their resistance with a splendid second goal, hitting a shot from 20 yards which flew inside the left-hand upright. And it was a sad afternoon at Arsenal. Kevin Gallagher breaking his right leg midway through the first half and effectively ending his season. A sad afternoon for the Scottish striker, who'd been enjoying a great season. Arsenal's Paul Merson was a danger throughout. He scored the only goal of the game after 73 minutes, and that was Rovers' first defeat in 13 games. So, at the end of February, Manchester United were still in the driving seat, but that once mighty lead was down to 7 points. United had a game in hand, but in 5 weeks were due at Ewood Park. March the 5th, and a very important day in the race for the title. Rovers entertained Liverpool at Ewood Park, while Manchester United looked for revenge against Chelsea, the only side to have beaten them in the Premiership so far. Rovers took the lead with a splendid break down the right, an excellent Stuart Ripley cross avoiding everyone except Jason Wilcox, who was charging in at the far post. Tim Sherwood capped his return to action by finishing off smartly after a good move involving Wilcox and Shearer. When the news came through from Old Trafford that Chelsea had beaten Manchester United, it was party time at Ewood. Who would have thought the United's 16-point lead in January was now down to just 4? A magnificent achievement by Rovers after a surge of results to put some life back into what many had thought was a dead Premiership race.